There are huge lines directly from the closest metro stop to St. Peter's Square. People are queuing right from there to make it to St. Peter's to say their goodbyes to Pope Francis. The authorities have put in additional civil protection forces. The police is there. There's additional security to make sure that everything goes off smoothly. And so far, it really seems to be the case. Now, we've just heard from Vatican News, that's the Holy See's media outlet, saying that as of 8:30 this morning, 48,600 people have filed past the body of Pope Francis. So really, we're seeing some significant numbers, and it's expected to increase if you look at the queues that are forming at all the entry points to St. Peter's Square and to the Basilica. Inside the Basilica, the mood is silent, it's quiet, it's solemn as everyone is passing by. So many people, but it really is silence as everybody takes their moment to remember the pontiff. It's in some ways reminiscent of the funeral of the last sitting Pope, John Paul II, now Saint Paul John Paul II, when his funeral services were held, how there were so many people in the square and it was absolutely silent. Now, in the meantime, those rosary prayer vigil services continue at St. Mary Major, Santa Maria Maggiore Basilica here in Rome. That's the basilica where the Pope will be interred on Saturday, right after the funeral service.
And presumably, Seema, behind the scenes as well, as you're talking there, we're seeing some of the images coming into us of the coffin there in St. Peter's. But behind the scenes, an awful lot of work is needed and is going on to prepare for Saturday.
Absolutely. Now, Rome, the Vatican, no stranger to papal funerals, but of course, everyone is different. We understand that some 8,000 security forces have been deployed just for this event. They're also setting up big screens, if you're familiar with Rome, at Piazza Risorgimento and at the end of Via Conciliazione. That's the main drag leading towards St. Peter's Square, because, of course, it's going to be a huge number of people expected. More than 200,000 is what they're saying. But of course, all those world leaders, more than 100 delegations expected. And you're going to see the US President Donald Trump, but also the Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and the EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen. Some speculation of what is it going to be like if they meet, considering all the tensions going on with tariffs as well as the war in Ukraine. There's also some speculation of what is going to be the seating arrangement of all these leaders. The French president also there, and let's not forget the Italian leaders and lots of delegations from around the world, a testament to how far the reach of Pope Francis is and the 1.4 billion Catholics that there are around the world. Now, after the funeral service on Saturday, the Pope's body will be brought to St. Mary Major Basilica. Plans are still coming out. We're waiting to hear the details of the route and the procession of the body to St. Mary Major. And on that evening, Saturday evening, there will be yet again a rosary prayer vigil, this time inside St. Mary Major Basilica. So lots of preparation, security, logistics, but the authorities say they plan to have everything in place for Saturday.